It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to a very special press conference. This is a very special press conference because it marks the start of a celebration which envisages that the universal language of pop culture can be used as a medium and as an instrument to solve some of the biggest problems facing our country and the world by mobilizing and galvanizing the young, not just in India, but across the world. Today is also a very auspicious day. We are on the cusp of the light of Ganesh Visarjan. There is Eid, and it's the good tidings of the week-long Mount Mary Fair. So there could not be a better day than this to launch our initiative and our movement, wherein we'll try and mobilize social good across the country, irrespective of caste or creed, and most importantly, amplify the voice of the young. And I repeat again, across the world. It's not just in our own country. Spearheading this unique initiative is the opportunity that has come the way of the Global Education and Leadership Foundation. This is an organization which was born with the vision of building a community of ethical, altruistic leaders who speak the same language across the world, so that together they can be the change that Gandhiji always spoke about. I would like that we begin today's program with an address by the chairman of our foundation, Mr. Shiv Khemka. Please put your hands together for Mr. Shiv Khemka.
Honorable Chief Minister Shri Fadnavis ji, Honorable Member of Parliament Poonam Mahajan ji, Yuri Afanasyev, the UN Resident Commissioner, many other friends, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor for us to be here today to launch on such an auspicious day the Global Citizen Movement in India. A few words about the Global Education and Leadership Foundation. We started about 11 years ago with a very simple mission that in our schools, we believe there are many great leaders today that are young, that can build great aspirations to lead in the future. Young Gandhijis, young Mother Teresas, young Aung San Suu Kyis, young Martin Luther Kings, young leaders who have a mission and a commitment to actually make impact at scale. And with that, we decided to create a curriculum. We now reach 3 million children, principally in India, but in 14 countries. And the curriculum has 4 principal pillars. The first is leadership. Every child should aspire to be a leader or to support great leadership. The second is a bias for action. A lot of people talk but don't do anything, and it's really important to have a commitment in young people to actually act and to do something. The third is ethics, because leadership and a bias for action, well, many leaders we know, like Hitler, had those, but unfortunately that wasn't enough. So ethics is very important, the third pillar, and that separates out great leaders from leaders that actually are potentially strong leaders, but really don't have the interests of the planet and of the people on the planet in their hearts. But is that enough? And we felt even that was not enough. Ethics is not enough, because you needed finally a deep sense of the human community, a sense of altruism, a sense of being a global citizen, a sense of caring about the whole planet as our planet. And with that little conception, we started our curriculum. And from that, we've selected over the last 11 years, 300 young people that we believe embody these values. Young people that are deeply ethical, that are deeply altruistic, and that have a tremendous talent for leadership and action. And I'm here today to actually celebrate their work, because this Global Citizen Project is their project. They're the ones who envisioned it. They're the ones who decided to go to New York and meet with the charismatic young founder in New York, Hugh Evans, who will be speaking to us in a minute, and to convince him that he should come with this platform to India. And they're the ones who have actually created everything that is going to happen over the coming months and actually over the coming years. Because this is a journey for the next 15 years. This is a journey synchronous with the United Nations and the World Sustainable Development Goals mission to end extreme poverty on our planet by 2030. This is a deep intention, and I hope that all of us can today start on that journey and work with young people and work with schools and colleges and with our leaders to actually commit ourselves to end extreme poverty on this planet. And of course,
thank you very much, Shiv. The Honourable Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Shri Fadnavis, and the Honourable Member of Parliament, Poonam Maharaj, Yuri, on behalf of the United Nations, thank you for all of your support. And to the incredible artists and partners who are with us today, the incredible Amitabh Bachchan, thank you for your support. To Kareena Kapoor, thank you. To Aamir Khan and to Farhan Akhtar, thank you for all of your support. And to our incredible partners at Colours and UPL. I'd like to say a few words, if I can, commending the man who spoke before me, Shiv Khemka. When I was 15 years old, I spent a year living here in India, in Uttarakhand at a school called Woodstock School in northern India. And that year was the key catalyst for my personal calling to want to change the status quo relating to poverty alleviation. And it's from there that the Global Citizen Movement was born. But Shiv Khemka and his family truly have been the driving force behind the start of this movement in India. Shiv and I first met several years ago, and I can truly say that the Khemka family have been tireless advocates and custodians of bringing this movement to India. Thank you, Shiv. Thank you to the Khemka family. And thank you to the Global Education and Leadership Foundation that you founded and the incredible young leaders that you nurture. We want to applaud you. We want to applaud your family. And thank you for the impact you have.
Thank you, Hugh. And I'd like to thank the Chief Minister, the Honorable Member of Parliament, and Shiv and his team at the Global Education and Leadership Foundation for having me here today. It's an honor to be here today. It's my first time in India, and I now understand why my grandfather loved this place so much. So I'd like to thank the Indian government for all the support they've given and the leadership they've shown as far as it goes to combating and ending extreme poverty. The world has halved extreme poverty over the course of my lifetime, and we're on the cusp of ending it. Since 1990, the number of people living in extreme poverty has more than halved. A child born today is twice as likely to survive into adolescence. Maternal mortality has declined by 45% worldwide, and literacy rates among youth are on the rise. But despite all this progress, there is still much more to do. I've worked with Hugh and his team at Global Citizen since its inception. And over the years, I've come to see that the Global Citizen Festival provides a platform that encourages communities in new ways of engagement.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed Chief Minister, dear friends, members of the media. I'm Yuri Afanasyev, and I'm the UN representative in India. It is a thrill for me to be with you here today because you remember that the United Nations Charter starts with the words, "We the people." And the movement of Global Citizen, which my Secretary General has supported over the last few years, is about we the people. I think it is incredible that we're starting this movement here in India because, frankly, for the United Nations and for the Sustainable Development Goals, India is the biggest place where it's going to happen in the next 10 and 15 years. For me, it's an incredible privilege to be here with you tonight, but it's also an incredible privilege to serve in India during this amazing time. I firmly believe, and we were talking about it with Hugh the other day, that this is India's decade. This is This is India's decade, this is India's 15 years, and if India does not succeed in delivering the Sustainable Development Goals, we fail as the United Nations and we the people. I want to thank the team, Shiv Khemka's team, for picking up this incredible opportunity to extend the movement to India. I think it was the only right thing to do, and I don't know how you found that moment when you saw the vision, but it had to happen here. And the model offered by Global Citizen is an amazing model. I think today technology offers such an opportunity to, not only to young people, I mean, yes, we're focused on young people, but it offers such an opportunity to everybody to be involved, whether in a big way or a small way. And frankly, I think what Hugh said about the funding gap and the participation gap that we already see in terms of what is needed and what's on offer, it just lends itself to disruptive thinking, disruptive technology, and doing things in a different way from now on, and certainly for the next 15 years and further. So thank you all very much. I think this is a beginning of a long journey, a journey that will last 15 years. I'm terribly looking forward to the concert in November. I know my Secretary General is trying to get to the concert in New York in September, as he always does. But a concert is an event. It's not the end of the journey. It's actually the catalyst for the journey. And I think that's what the Global Citizen model is all about. And hopefully with partners like these that you see on the board, and with Shiv's organization, and with a modest help from the United Nations, hopefully we can take this journey on in India in years to come. Thank you very much, and all good luck to you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Tiska Chopra, your host for today. First off, I'd like to thank Mr. Khemka, Mr. Evans, Mr. Mandela, and Mr. Afanasiev for sharing this platform with the world and bringing it to India. It's heartening to see the kind of impact that the Global Citizen Initiative has had across the world, and the impact that it can have on the future. As this movement now makes its way to India, several leading lights of the country have pledged their support to it in their own unique ways. One such individual is not only an actor par excellence, but also a humanitarian who has championed many social causes. He's particularly passionate about youth-directed change. He shares an extremely unique association with the Global Education and Leadership Foundation. And to tell you more about it, please welcome on stage Mr. Aamir Khan.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's truly an honor and a pleasure to be part of this movement. I think that what Gandhiji said is so true, that be the change that you want to see. And I think that each one of us can at least change yourself. And that itself is such a big force in changing the world. I think a bulk of India's population is youth today, and the youth in India is full of energy, full of love, full of positivity. And I think there is huge potential for all of us to be in this together, to bring about this change. I pledge my commitment to this movement, and I'll be a part of it until we actually do achieve all the goals that we have set out to. Thank you so much. Thank you. चर्चे बंद होंगे क्योंकि शुरुआत हूं मैं.
Thank you so much, Aamir, for being part of this journey. It is only with the support of like-minded and committed individuals such as yourself that we can actualize the potential of the impact and amplify the message. Shuruaat hu main. I'm sure the question on everyone's mind is, how does one actually make this change? What are these social changes that I can engage in? What can I do? To explain further, I'd like to invite Mr. Jay Tirodkar from TGELF on stage. TGELF.
Honorable Chief Minister Shri Devendra Fadnavis ji, Honorable Member of Parliament Srimati Poonam Mahajan ji, respected dignitaries, guests, and dear friends. On behalf of the young team at the Global Education and Leadership Foundation, we're delighted to have all of you here as we embark on this exciting and important journey over the next 15 years. Shuruaat hu main, it begins with me, is one of the core themes that will drive us in this movement. What we, through this platform, aim to do is be a convening force right at the confluence between public policy and popular culture. Using the voice of popular culture, using the voice of leading decision makers, of celebrities, as well as people across the spectrum, to actually activate and mobilize young Indians to take action and to make their voice heard is core to our philosophy. To all of us at Global Citizen India, we really believe that young people want to see a better India and a better world. But in order to do so, they want to make their voice heard. And this can only be done if we act collaboratively and we can actually then influence change at scale. Our foundation focuses on ethical leadership at the school level. We focus on building and nurturing the values of global citizenship from KG through grades 12 and in colleges. What Global Citizen does is the same thing top down. And we believe that this confluence and this narrative must merge together in order to ensure that young India can express their voice. The fact that our platform went live at 9 a.m. today and we already have 1 million actions taken by Indians is truly inspiring to all of us. Core to this model is creating awareness, but to us, awareness is not enough. It's about translating this awareness into action, social action that can then be heard by decision makers who can act responsibly in order to facilitate the achievement of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Most importantly, this social action is not chosen by one entity, one organization, or one group of people. It's a collaborative process which would not be possible without all our partners, without the government of Maharashtra, which has been a crucial partner and has facilitated this, but also all our sponsors and NGO partners who've guided each of these actions, who've helped us look at the balance between the corporate world, between issues faced by civil society, as well as challenges on the ground. Moments like these, with the Honorable Chief Minister present, with Srimati Poonam Mahajan ji present, and all the respected dignitaries and celebrities, help amplify the voice of young Indians. It's about the 1 million actions taken today, which we can amplify and bring about change not just in Mumbai, not just in Maharashtra, but across India, both urban and rural. And most importantly, as we do this, we're committed to having India and young Indians lead over the next 15 years to show that India will take a leadership role in achieving the end of extreme poverty. And that's why our young team is most excited to launch this movement. Over the next 9 weeks, there'll be multiple action journeys, each of which will comprise many actions, which will help drive change on various issues. To all of us, Shuruaat hu main is really a way of saying each individual, each young Indian needs to look beyond himself or herself and at the broader community. And given that young India is aspirational, wants to change India, the moment as a group, collaboratively, they realize if they act together, they can bring about change. We want to help facilitate that. We want to help be a convener to that platform and to be a convener to help be a facilitator to change at scale across this country. Shuruaat hu main, as you saw that AV, was shot by one of the most respected individuals in this country, Mr. Aamir Khan. I would like to thank him on behalf of our foundation and Global Citizen India for doing that. And I have the deep honor of introducing one of the living legends, one of India's finest ambassadors to the world, Shri Amitabh Bachchan, to come on stage and take this forward.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Fadnavis ji, Honorable Poonam ji, distinguished guests, members of my fraternity, members of the media. I'd like to thank today's organizers, the Global Citizen, for inviting me here today and making me a part of this wonderful and very noble movement. A lot of what the movement stands for has already been described by the speakers before me, and members of my fraternity have lent support to it. Before I go any further, I'd just like to commit myself yet again towards this very noble cause and say that Mr. Khemka mentioned about opening up the lines for registering this morning at 9 o'clock and took a figure of about 40,000 people. I want to tell you, Mr. Khemka, that amongst those 40,000, I was one of them in this morning. I did go to the section which said action, and I went there, but it didn't tell me what to do. So if you can just advise me what I need to do to be able to win those social currency points so I can have a free ticket to the show, I shall be more than happy to do that. There were many aspects of global citizenship that have been described as far as the journey of this wonderful concept is concerned. And some of them were about focusing on quality education, gender equality, clean water, and sanitation. I just want to inform some of our guests here that the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Chief Minister have already initiated a great deal towards these very noble causes, and I just feel very privileged to be a part of them as far as Swachh Bharat campaign is concerned, the Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao campaign is concerned, and the presence of education amongst our younger generation. The speaker before me talked a lot about youth and how they need to be inspired and how they're going to be leading the country forward. I take strong exception to that because, you know, some of the oldies can also do some work. And if any time you will require my services, I shall be more than happy to be a part of that. Talking about education, I keep repeating an incident, and I want to say that again today. As host of KBC, I had a young girl of almost 23 years old sitting on the hot seat in front of me. And she came from the rural area, from a very poor environment. And she said that she was stopped from being educated at the age of, 12, 13, when she was studying in the 7th or 8th standard. And her father said, "We're not going to educate you anymore because the people and the village have told me we don't want to waste more money on your education because you're going to get married and go away, and why should I waste money on you?" The girl revolted against this process and this thinking. She left the home of her parents, went to her grandmother's house. She was treated equally badly there, asked to do all kinds of menial work, but she continued to study on her own and has educated herself to come and land up in the hot seat in front of me. Ladies and gentlemen, during the course of the game, she won 25 lakh rupees. And when I asked her what she was going to do with this, she said, "I'm going to take this check to my father and tell her that her daughter is also an asset to the family." We are a nation that are very proud of our women. We have a huge cultural backlog, and we are fast changing that. Why should the woman, the wife, walk 10 steps behind the husband? There are many reasons why we need to change all that. 50% of the strength of a nation should be women, and they need their dignity, their presence, and their honor in our society. And that's what we need to work for. We've talked about health issues in this global citizen. The Honorable Chief Minister and I have been working towards the eradication of tuberculosis. I personally worked for the polio campaign for 8 years as United Nations ambassador. And after 8 years of very strong struggle, we were able to make India polio free. We will continue. We shall continue to work in that direction because even though India is today polio-free, we know that some of our neighbors still carry that virus, and there's always the threat of that virus following through. There's a lot of emphasis on wanting personal involvement in all these campaigns. It's all very well for all of us to come and speak wonderful words and say a lot of nice things, but how are we going to actually execute this? And I think that when we come to execution, each one of us, each member, each individual has to individually take part and become an example for the rest of the community. When I worked for the TB campaign and I worked for the hepatitis campaign, I gave my personal example, and I'm not afraid or shy to admit that I'm a TB survivor. I'm a hepatitis B survivor, hope to keep surviving. But the reason why I said that was because I wanted to become an example for those cases. And if and when we can make examples of our youth in this most wonderful movement called the global citizenship, that is how we can take this movement forward. So therefore, I must urge each individual. We've talked a lot with the Chief Minister on Swachh Bharat, and what I told him and some of the many people that we recently went to, that if each one of us individually can keep, say, 10 yards of the circumference of where we live clean and neat, the entire city would be clean. And that's something that we all need to do. We all need to work individually and make sure that such occasions are not just occasions where we come and make some wonderful speeches, but go out and start working. I have already talked about my initiation. So, Mr. Khemka, you need to tell me now, what I need to do as far as my action is concerned, and I shall be most ready to do that. Once again, thank you so much for having me here. And I reiterate my commitment to this wonderful cause and any other action that I need to do to gain those social currency points for the show on the 19th of November. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. You spoke so eloquently and so inspirationally. I had the good fortune of seeing your movie last night, Pink. You not only said good things and done good things in all areas, but you also used your art so beautifully to talk about what is happening to the women in this country. We thank you for that. It's outstanding. Join, act, earn. Join the movement, take action for a social cause, and earn free tickets to the Global Citizen Festival in India. I'm sure now you want to know all about the festival. Is that right? And who better to take you through that than Viz Sabas Joseph, Director, Wizcraft International Entertainment.
Good evening, friends from the media. Good evening, CM sir, Mr. Bachchan, Poonam ji, Aamir, everyone, distinguished guests, thank you very much for being here today. Wizcraft, as being one of the foremost event management companies, have been part of many initiatives that bring together entertainment stars, create the biggest events. Very rarely do you get the opportunity to really do this for the country. Very rarely do you get the opportunity to really change the paradigm of where we live, what we do, and how you can do it really. Very rarely does anyone get the chance to really activate a country in your own lifetime. So what we really believe that Global Citizen India gives all of us in this room and in our country is an opportunity to really change the course of our history. And it is really that that Wizcraft as a company believes in, and hence has partnered with Global Citizen, Mr. Khemka with the Global Education Leadership Foundation, Poonam, and everyone who's really put their weight behind this entire project. We as a company have been involved with multiple projects that involve the country, be it the 50 years of Indian independence that brought all our living prime ministers and presidents together for one time. I wish we could do this more often. We've been part of the Prime Minister's vision, launching Digital India, launching Make in India and Hanover Messe, doing his MyGov events and different events across the world. What's very passionate about our current Prime Minister and his entire government's vision is really to activate youth, activate events and use platforms to launch big ideas, to make them known and campaign with them to take it to every person across the country, across the world. And it's really that passion that we see represented similarly in Global Citizen India. We're delighted that his office has put its weight behind the entire project. And really, it's with that humility that we would like to accept the responsibility of really working in the trenches to make Global Citizen India not just be a movement for 15 years, but until we end extreme poverty in India. The Global Citizen Festival would be curated by Chris Martin, the frontman of the world's most popular rock band, Coldplay. And he has committed to curate this festival for 15 years. Heading the lineup, Coldplay. Jay-Z. Aamir Khan. Ranveer Singh. Farhan Akhtar. A.R. Rahman. Katrina Kaif. Kareena Kapoor Khan. Shraddha Kapoor. Arjun Kapoor. Arijit Singh. Shankar Ehsaan Loy. Dia Mirza and Monali Thakur. And of course, Mr. Bachchan. Thank you. I'm going to request for the AV that's been created to announce this.
I'd now like to invite on stage Mr. Jay Shroff, CEO, UPL, to say a few words about UPL's association with Global Citizen India.
Thank you very much. Honorable Chief Minister, Poonam ji, all the ladies and gentlemen. For me, it was a big surprise when I was chatting with Poonam one day, and she was telling me all about the great ideas she had about bringing the global citizens to Bombay, and I was quite impressed with the whole initiative which she had driven, and I said, you know, UPL needs to be associated with that. You know, UPL is involved in working with
Good evening, everyone. I'll keep it short. Everyone said so much. So wherever I go these days, there's just one question asked, which is, I think, quite intrusive, but still I'm asked, both me and Sev. Is it a boy or is it a girl? Have you found out? And I'm like, excuse me? What difference does it make? I'm a girl child. I would love to have a girl. What is the difference? I think I've done probably more for my parents and for my family than a son would. So my answer is downright rude to saying, firstly, this is very intrusive, and at this point, I don't think you should be asking me this question. But coming back to it, I think we're still in a nation where we've been asked, oh, you're getting married, are you still going to work? Oh, you're having a child, are you still going to work? These questions upset me, and when Bizcraft and Mr. Evans wrote to me that if I would like to be a part of this initiative, I think my first reaction was that as an expectant mother on this journey, nothing would make me happier than to be a part of a movement that supports gender equality. Not just for me or my child, but for the millions and millions of children out there. For all those people who think that a girl child is considered taboo, is considered not equal enough, not up to a man, but you must know that a woman is probably the only soul that has the right to carry a soul in her. And that is truly something that is a joy. Thank you so much, Mr. Evans, Mr. Khemka, for allowing me at this special point in my life to lend my voice. I hope it makes a difference. Thank you.
We have a couple of questions for Kareena. What would your advice be then to those wanting to make a difference?
Well, I think the reason that we're all gathered here today is to make a difference now. We keep making promises to each other at dinner tables, at gala dinners that was mentioned, putting on a black tie, opening our pockets sometimes and taking out, writing a check and sending out, but nobody really actually takes that step. But I think with Global Citizen India and so many wonderful people associated with it across the globe, I think this is the time, and the time is now. So, I think this is what we're all doing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kareena. One of the key areas that Global Citizen is actively involved in is addressing, not only in India but across the world, is that of gender equality. Thankfully, it has found a very able partner in the form of MARD, Men Against Rape and Discrimination, a social initiative designed to create awareness to instill gender equality and respect towards women. The man I'd like to call on stage now has been an inspiration for many, many people across the world. He has spearheaded the thought movement of men, playing an integral part in creating gender equity and equality. Please welcome the uber-talented, multifaceted Mr. Farhan Akhtar on stage.
Thank you very much. It is a pleasure to be up on the stage. Literally, it was freezing down there. So, I'd like to start by first just sharing with you what MARD means and what it stands for. जिसकी आंखों में है जगमगाती हुई जैसे गहरी शराफत की एक रोशनी, जिसके अंदाज में एक तहजीब है, जिसके लहजे में नरमी है, शब्दों में तमीज़ है, जिसके दिल में भी और जिसकी बातों में भी औरत के वास्ते पूरी इज़्ज़त भी है, पूरा आदर भी है, जिसको औरत के जीवन का तन मन का सम्मान है, औरत के आत्मसम्मान का जिसको हर एक पल ध्यान है, जो कभी एक पल भी नहीं भूलता, औरत इंसान है, जिसमें अपनी भी पहचान है, जिसमें हिम्मत भी है, जिसमें शक्ति भी है, जिसमें गौरव है, आत्मविश्वास है, जो अगर साथ है, जो अगर पास है, उसके होने से औरत को अपनी सुरक्षा का एहसास है, जो औरत का एक सच्चा साथी है, एक दोस्त है, एक हमदर्द है, सच तो ये है, वही मर्द है. Thank you. This has been really the message that MARD has been taking out for the last 3.5 years to colleges and schools across India, we've been engaging with students, we've been giving them like these actions that they can follow, things that they could do within their communities, within their families, to try and achieve or set an example by converting themselves, becoming a catalyst for a change where they treat women with equality, treat them with dignity and with respect. And as somebody who's been doing this for the last 3 years, we're constantly on the lookout for people who can amplify this message. So firstly, I'd like to thank, of course, Wizcraft, Andre, Viraf, and Sabas for introducing me really to Mr. Hugh Evans and to Mr. Shiv Khemka in relation to the global citizen that's happening now from this year in India. Thank you very, very much to all of you. Meeting Hugh really and Mr. Khemka at the office many months ago now, it really did make not just me but everyone I've spoken to about this initiative since feel so extremely optimistic about the level of change that is possible through this initiative. Of course, being supported by our Honorable Chief Minister, Member of Parliament, Poonam Mahajan, and of course our friends and dignitaries from within the film industry and from outside. Global Citizen India is doing something unique. It is offering us a platform wherein our individual efforts and voices can combine together to push for collective action. Offering the global goals as a roadmap not only encourages for collective action within the country, but across the world. And it is this collective merged action that can truly make a difference. Global Citizen India has adopted the goals of gender equality, quality education, and water sanitation and hygiene. I am passionate about change, and the main thing is that change must happen wherever it can. While we keep seeking infrastructural change, which is critical, we also need to focus and understand that ultimately, generational change can only happen through awareness and behavioral change. This platform recognizes that, and I'm happy to offer my contribution in a comprehensive and sustaining manner for as long as it is needed by you. As artists, my peers and I are not here to only perform, but to also speak on behalf of these worthy global goals. I'm especially happy to see gender equality as a chief concern of the initiative this year, and sincerely hope that GCI, that's Global Citizen India, and Mard can mobilize our net-savvy youth to work towards a more equitable future for this country and for the world. It doesn't matter what you do. You should do something. Start somewhere. Be the change. And very eloquently put, Shuruaat hu main. Lastly, as a live performer, it gives me great pleasure to interact with audiences across the globe, and it gives me great joy to introduce a special message from another live performer. This message comes from across the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting singer, songwriter, record producer, and co-founder of arguably the world's most famous band today, Coldplay. Here's Mr. Chris Martin.
Hello, I'm Chris Martin from the band Coldplay. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there in person today, but I've recorded this video message to say we're very excited that on November the 19th, for the first time ever, our band Coldplay will be coming to play in India, along with Jay-Z, A.R. Rahman, Farhan Akhtar, and many others for the first ever international Global Citizen concert to try and say good things in the desire to see a world free of poverty. Over the next few weeks, through Global Citizen, it'll be clear how to win tickets. We're so excited to be there. I feel very emotionally attached to it, and I'm very grateful to your powerful people for letting this concert happen. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in a couple of months.
Foundation and Global Citizen for all the efforts that you and the government of Maharashtra have put.
Thank you very much. I know समय काफ़ी हुआ है और जब इतने सारे सुंदर सितारे यहाँ पे बात करते हैं और उसके बाद कोई राजनेता खड़ा रह जाता है तो मुझे पता है दिल में कैसी धक धक करती है. I know the relation of a politician and a mic is a very old and dedicated relationship. But this time, I'll try to control myself. I'll give my love little less to this mic and to all of you because I know we have taken enough time. Honorable, the youngest Chief Minister who has been lending support to all the initiatives, who's done so wonderfully well for Maharashtra, Honorable Devendra Fadnavis ji. Though it is the way we have seen severe drought in Maharashtra, and his one Jalyukta Shivar has really got all of us along and got water everywhere in Maharashtra after this rains. We are really grateful to our Honorable CM. The youngest and the young, every young heart beats for him, the young and the dashing actor, Honorable Amitabh Bachchan ji, as he's been questioning that, सारे युवा बात कर रहे हैं, मैंने क्या गलती की है? ऐसे सर आपसे ज़्यादा तो सफ़ेद मेरे बाल हो गए राजनीति में रह के. But it's been wonderful to have you. Honorable Aamir Khan ji, who's been supporting government of Maharashtra also always with his idea project Pani. You Evans, I got you here in Mumbai. I made sure that you first start from this city of Mumbai and work together with us. Thank you very much. Shiv Khemka, because of whom we are all here. Shri Farhan Akhtar ji, बहुत सुंदर कविता, बहुत अच्छा प्रयास. Kareena ji, congratulations. We all are excited for you and you are getting our global citizen in this country. Thank you very much. Raj Naik ji, Vats ji, if I've forgotten anyone, all government of Maharashtra's dignitaries, friends in media. Mumbai at last. It's been a 1 year running around here and there, working with Shiv and my favorite Jay Tirodkar, that when you decided with Honorable Prime Minister, that Honorable Prime Minister lent his support to think, to get all these youngsters with this initiative here, you wanted to do it in Delhi, actually, let me be very honest about it. And I was not happy about it. And as our Prime Minister has always supported competitive federalism, so I said, why not get into that competition? Because Mumbai, I'm a Mumbaikar, all of you are Mumbaikars. You know how Mumbai is a vibrant city. This city is actually door to this India. Gateway of India has been here. Now, I'm not saying Britishers should come here. Again, I mean, I welcome them. You is here, though he's from Australia. But I welcome all of you that the city of Mumbai, which has this never say die attitude, this vibrant culture. We have wonderful Bollywood, we have the best business, and even that must be collaborating at 2% of this city. But the 98% of city which never goes hungry. There's something to work for in this city. There is some, ये शहर के पानी में कुछ ऐसे है कि anybody who thinks and aspires and dreams to do something in this city gets it done for that person. So that's why this city is very important. Yes, as a member of parliament, of course, I fought for it and got my vote from you. And I'm really grateful to get global citizen here. Honorable Prime Minister's dream, he always supported sustainable development goals, all 17 goals. And as we've always been discussing, this time, the goal number 4, 5, 6, we are working on here. I've always fought for gender equality. I'm from a family where I have a brother and sister. I've been working. There's always a support from my parents. They have taught me from childhood there is nothing like a boy and a girl. So gender equality is very important for me. Empowering women is not only a word. It just gives, even feminism is nothing something we're calling about extremity. Feminism is about gender equality. We have to come together. Me and you actually worked on, our connection got on the goal number 6, sanitation. I'm known as a toilet MP. It's been 2.5 years of my being a member of parliament. But all my MP LAT, I've only invested in making toilets, community toilets for people because Mumbai, we need it a lot. And that's how we got connected. And I believe our Prime Minister's goal, his dreams, when even in 2014, when he was in New York, he was on that stage, he spoke about more on sanitation, he spoke about toilets, he spoke about how we want to end open defecation. And we see that in Mumbai also. So I pledge here to give my support. I just want to say thank you very much. Shurwaat hu main. I want to thank all our sponsors, UPL, Colors, they've been fantastic. Thank you very much. And I want to thanks Viscraft, but I want to make sure to tell Mr. Joseph that we didn't grow up together. He saw me growing up. So we are not same age, Sabas, remember that. Please, it just hurt me because I'm the global citizen, I'm young, I want to support that. So that's how we work together. Yes, they have been completely supporting this. Nobody is taking any money. Everybody is doing free of charge. We are getting social currency for every youngster to work for it. So as Mr. Bachchan said, and which I have to say it again, he said, मैंने वो button दबाया लेकिन क्या करना है मुझे पता नहीं चला. तो आमिर जी भी वही कहे और मैं भी वही कह रही थी, हमारे विचार भी कभी कभी साथ में आ जाते हैं। तो आमिर जी सिंह सर, आपने इतना सोशल काम किया है, वो कंप्यूटर को भी पता चल गया अमिताभ बच्चन ने बटन दबाया। It's been so wonderful. It's our honor, even it's global citizens' honor that you want to do something with us. So Global Citizen India, इसे मैं हिंदी में कहूँगी क्योंकि this is not an English platform. It's not like Coldplay is coming, so English listeners have to come. It's all about India. It's culture of India. It's rural and the cities of India. We all come together. We achieve our goals. We help people. We help youngsters. And music is the only language which everybody understands. We don't need English in it, or Hindi in it, or Marathi, or Gujarati, or Tamil in it. But we have everyone together. This is a diverse country with different dividend of youth, all coming together, different languages, caste, creed, everyone. And as following Beatles and everyone, and especially Bono, who supports girls' education a lot, music's bind everyone. So I'll just give you an example in 2 minutes, that if tomorrow I would have had the same global citizen platform for a conference and I tell 10,000 people, why don't you come for a conference? I think I'll get only 100, 200 people coming for the conference. But if I tell them that, why don't you be part of this, be part of the country's growth and do something socially, take your social responsibility, how our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi always tells us, then he says, okay. And then you want to see Coldplay. Isn't that wonderful? So the youngster understands and connects with it. And this young country needs to connect with it. मैं अंत में इतना ही कहूँगी, शुरुआत हूँ मैं, ये एक बहुत शुभ शुरुआत है। आदरणीय आमिर जी ने भी कहा, प्रसन्न जोशी, he's a wonderful poet. So शुरुआत हूँ मैं, ये एक अच्छी शुरुआत है. As Vats ji also said, विश्वगुरु. विश्वगुरु कहाँ गया था? श्री आदरणीय हमारे विवेकानंद जी ने. So when and our Honorable Prime Minister's dream is only to look at India in map of this world as Vishwaguru, the global power, to think, to take things forward. And as we call global citizen, even in Hindi, I want to tell all my friends to come forward. We are one, हम विश्व नागरिक हैं. हम सब इस विश्व के नागरिक हैं और हम साथ में आना चाहते हैं. This is that global village. So thank you very much to be part of this. My city of Mumbai is getting Coldplay, so I am very excited. And I get my VIP pass also because I'm really working hard here, getting everyone together. So I'm ready. All of you youngsters are ready. Make this country prosper. End of poverty is our dream, but it has to start from here. आज से, अभी से, शुरुआत हूँ मैं. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good evening. Well, we were the same age. Mr. Bachchan and I are probably the same age. So, we're really, really delighted to have such a wonderful audience here. And I think I would point out something very relevant to this evening. We are launching a movement on a large scale for the youth. And it's going to be launched by the youngest chief minister in the country.
And Chief Minister, it is only due to your support that Global Citizen has been able to expand to new frontiers. Truly, this would not be possible without you, and we can't tell you the depth of our gratitude and humility in speaking with you today. So it's my great honor to thank and invite you to the stage, the Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Fadnavis. Thank you.
Namaskar. I'm here to welcome global citizen to India and especially to Mumbai. I'm really happy that this event is happening in Maharashtra and in Mumbai. Thanks to Poonam, who actually came to me and said, how could this happen in Delhi? It has to happen in Mumbai. I said, I'm with you. Go ahead. And she went ahead. I think what excites me more is the way we are connecting people. We are an aspirational country with 50% of our population below the age of 25. And with this demographic dividend, we are becoming one of the greatest economy of the world. I have no doubt in my mind that this aspirational youth will be the driver of economy. It will make us grow economically. But I think what we really need to do is to make them drivers of socio-economic change. It's not about just the economic change, but what we require is socio-economic change. And as rightly said by Poonam, we need to find ways to inspire the youth to be socially active, to understand that he has to do something to give back to the society which has given him the ways to fulfill his aspirations. And I think there cannot be a better way to ask him to have social credits, to earn social currency. And I think this way of connecting the youth through popular culture and to ask them, if you want to participate, earn the social currency, take some action. I think with one program of Global Citizen on 19th, we will find millions of youth taking social action. And as Amit ji was pointing out, what action is to be taken? Amit ji, you just convinced Mr. Khemka that he takes into consideration action taken by you in last 3 months, and you will earn social currency for all of us. I think this inspiration is what is needed. And I think the youth has immense power. It requires inspiration. And when millions and millions of people start taking action, participating into the action journey and earning the social points, it will create a huge inspiration for everybody. So I think it's not just a one-day event, but with this event, we will start entire new journey towards socio-economic change in our country. I feel we have often talked about inclusive growth. We often say that GDP growth cannot be a benchmark until it is inclusive. Every person of the society should be part of the growth story. I think now is a time when we say not just inclusive growth, but participative growth. And it is this participation, if we ensure every single youth in the society participates, I think the growth which we want to see in this country, the dream of our Honorable Prime Minister to make this nation a developed country by 2020 can be realized. And I think this program is a way forward towards taking a strong step to make our country a developed nation by 2020. Congratulations to global citizens. Welcome. And I would like to offer all support from Government of Maharashtra. Let's come together and let's make this event a huge success. Thank you. Dhanyawad.
Thank you, sir.
My young friends, a very good evening. I applaud you all who have come together for taking up such a worthy cause. Indeed, there is a need to liberate our world from the curse of poverty. It is our collective challenge. We cannot and must not let such injustice continue. It should be our collective aspiration that no human being remains impoverished. Nature made every human being equal. We created the injustice and indignity of poverty. Elevation only will not suffice. We must eliminate poverty. My government is committed to eliminate poverty. To me, it means creating a condition where every individual is able to realize his or her full potential. Time has come for nations and governments to show resolve in tackling this challenge. I believe that a government is for the poor. I am committed to dignity and freedom from poverty. For all, this is my mission. And this is your mission. Let us work together. This will make our world a better place to live.
After that extremely inspiring message from the Honorable Prime Minister, may I request all the dignitaries to please come on stage for a photograph. Ahead of us is a long and exciting journey of change, impact, and celebration. Let's pledge that each one of us will do our part to make a difference. Do visit the media wall and do your bit. The official website is now live for you to join, act, earn. And thank you so much for your support. Do join us for high tea. We'd like to thank, on behalf of Global Citizen India, the Government of Maharashtra, Colors, Viacom 18, UPL, the United Nations, Viscraft, Google, the Times of India Group, Taj Hotels, Book My Show, Make My Trip. Thanks also to Edelman, Wispeak, and Mirman.
May request this.
दर्शाई गई हैं या दर्शाई जाने वाली हैं, जो कि एक तरह से गरीबी को हटाने के लिए उपयुक्त होंगी, चाहे वो स्वच्छ भारत कैंपेन हो, चाहे वो बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ का आंदोलन हो, चाहे वो हेल्थ इश्यूज़ के ऊपर हो, बीमारियों के ऊपर, बहुत से ऐसे कार्यक्रमों में मैं पहले से ही जुड़ा हुआ हूँ और ये हमारे लिए एक सौभाग्य की बात है कि इसमें जुड़ करके हम अपना भी सहयोग दे पाएंगे।
सर, आप किस तरह के व्यक्तियों को ग्लोबल सिटीजन इंडिया मानते हैं?
हाँ जी,
ग्लोबल सिटीजन इंडिया किस तरह के व्यक्तियों को आप देखते हैं? इनके पैरामीटर्स किस तरह के होने चाहिए?
ये पैरामीटर्स देखिए, इसको निर्धारित नहीं किया जा सकता। अगर आप देश के लिए काम करते हैं तो आप ग्लोबल सिटीजन हैं।
और कितना बदलाव इससे आ सकता है?
प्रयत्न तो यही है, जैसा मैंने बताया कि सन 2030 तक भारत जो है वो गरीबी से मुक्त हो जाए।
अमित जी, जब भी आप किसी इनिशिएटिव को सपोर्ट करते हैं, हमने देखा कि पोलियो जैसा कि मुक्त भारत हो गया, तो क्या फील करते हैं आप? अब हम सभी इस फाउंडेशन के पीछे लगे, क्या फील करते हैं आप जब इस तरह से?
फीलिंग क्या होगी? कोई एक काम हमने एक बीड़ा उठाया है, वो संपूर्ण हो गया, वो सफल हो गया, तो इस बात की हमें खुशी है। हो गया, धन्यवाद।
मैं इसके साथ भी जुड़ पाया हूँ। ये एक कोशिश है जो दुनिया भर में चल रही है कि विश्व को जो है भुखमरी से मुक्ति मिले, सबको शिक्षा मिले। तो ऐसे 16-17 गोल्स हैं और इन गोल्स को अचीव करने की कोशिश है ये। और एक मौका है हम सबको इसके साथ जुड़ने का कि हम जो करें वो सिर्फ हमारे देश के लिए ना करें, बल्कि देश के लिए तो करें ही, लेकिन हम पूरे इंसानियत के लिए करें। तो मुझे बड़ी खुशी है कि मुझे भी मौका मिला है इसके साथ जुड़ने का।
सर, इंटरनेशनल बैंड आ रहा है
जी,
तो इसमें मतलब पहले बात चल रही थी कि टिकट बहुत हाई रेट पे बिकने वाले, लेकिन अब सुनने में आ रहा है कि एंट्री फ्री हो रही है।
जी हाँ, टिकट इसमें आई थिंक 80 या 90% जो है टिकट वो बेचे नहीं जा रहे हैं। सबको मौका मिल रहा है कि वो ऑनलाइन पर जाएं, ग्लोबल सिटीज़न की वेबसाइट के ऑनलाइन पर जाएं और वहाँ पर एक्शन लें। और जब आप एक्शन लेंगे, आप कुछ काम करेंगे, सोशली आप कुछ काम करेंगे, तो उस पर आपको पॉइंट्स मिलेंगे और उस पॉइंट्स के बेसिस पर आपको टिकट मिलेगा। तो ये एक अच्छा तरीका है लोगों को जोड़ने का, लोगों को एक दिशा देने का कि वो अच्छा काम करें, उनको मौका देने का। और ये वो जो हमारी यूथ है वो इसमें इन्वॉल्व होगी एक बड़ी तरह से, बड़ी तादाद में। और मुझे लगता है ये बहुत ही एक अच्छी कोशिश है।
सर, एक लाइव कंसर्ट होने वाला है, तो इसमें क्या आप भी परफॉर्म करते नजर आएंगे? अमिताभ जी और कौन?
हाँ, मैं भी कुछ करूँगा, कुछ ना कुछ करूँगा।
So if you could just throw some light on who will evaluate the points and how are we going to go forward by?
I think that you should check with
the GC and the T-Gulf team. We can set up those details.
They will tell you the details on that. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Aamir, also one last question. India is a huge nation. How do you think an event like this holds? Probably we have in our mind.
Yeah. I think, how much time it will take, I don't know. It's very difficult to predict that. But it's definitely a beginning. And for many years, there are a lot of people who have been working to solve a lot of issues in India. People have been working individually, people have been working in different parts of India. So this is one more effort in that direction. So it's we welcome all efforts in the right direction. So it's one more effort in the right direction. I think there's a lot of work happening in India on many levels. A lot of people are doing a lot of good work, and this will just add to that.
अगर आपकी फिल्म के लिए नया लुक है?
ये लुक है उसका, अद्वैत की फिल्म में मैं कैमियो कर रहा हूँ, उसका लुक है। Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Farhan.
That's why Tanya is also messaging me. मेरे पैर पे मत चढ़ना।